Hi, this is Brad Linder with Liliputing, and this is a Diamond Multimedia AMP1000 Android media player. And you can take a look at our previous video to see how it works out of the box. Basically, it's a little device that has a Android PC in it. You plug it into a TV, and you can use a wireless remote control. And you can run Android apps on your television. You can plug in an SD card. You can connect to your home network to stream media from other sources and so forth. Originally it shipped with Android 2.3, but as you can see now, there is a software update that lets you run a version of Android 4.0. This is Android Ice Cream Sandwich, and it has the user interface that's really designed for tablets and larger screens. Looks a lot nicer than what you get with the Android 2.3 user interface, and it works reasonably well. The software update process is really quite simple. You just sort of go into your settings, and go to the privacy section and choose the update option. Right now you can see I'm using this wireless remote control. It's a radio frequency remote, which means that as I move it up and down, you see the mouse cursor moves up and down. I can also use arrow keys, a couple of function keys here for things like menu or home, or launch the web browser. So let's go ahead and launch the web browser. Actually, this is the search function, it looks like. That's what we want, so let's go ahead and search for Liliputing. And it should load your search results. And then we can use the arrow to go ahead and click and load the web page. So you can see this will let you do some basic web browsing on your big screen TV. It's not the fastest device for that, and to be perfectly honest, so far in my experience with Android 4.0, this device might actually feel a little bit slower than with Android 2.3 when it comes to things like web browsing. Here we go, the web page is loading. But, you know, it does let you access the web. Other things you can do with it include streaming media from other devices on your home network. There's not a lot of storage built in here, but because you can connect to shared network drives, you can do some pretty neat things like access video recordings or downloads. So in this case, I have a DVR set up on a computer on my home network, and it's set to record all sorts of different programs. I've tried this with DivX files and with files that are MP4, and it plays back pretty well using the default video player. Video quality looks pretty good, and it can handle high definition video without any real problems. Now what I've noticed is that while videos play pretty well, and YouTube actually plays pretty well, the Netflix application, when I went ahead and installed it, it worked fine with Android 2.3, it just doesn't work with Android 4.0 on the Diamond Multimedia AMP1000. I try to launch it, it just resets. So YouTube is a go, Netflix is a no-go at the moment. Let's take a quick look at YouTube here. You can see we've got the tablet user interface for YouTube. It's taking a second to load, but once it does, it's sort of designed for large screens as opposed to the version that you get with Android 2.3.
In 2008, I supported Barack Obama. I really connected with his message of hope and change.
And now that YouTube is showing advertisements on videos, you get those too. So in terms of using it as a video playback device, the lack of Netflix support at the moment is a little bit troubling. Support for YouTube is good. Support for high definition DivX and MP4 and other file formats is nice. It does come with the Google Play Store installed, so you can try other applications. I installed XBMC, and this is a pre-release build of XBMC, which actually is designed to run on devices with similar processors to this. But while it loads pretty well, I found that it doesn't do a great job of actually playing video files. This is something that may just be a kink that needs to be worked out. My guess is that is the case, but now it's not even connecting to this server. Okay. Well, I was able to get it to connect to the server and stream videos over Wi-Fi before, but they were really, really slow to play back. The audio sounded fine, but in terms of the video, they look sort of like pictures as opposed to video. So XBMC, at least the build that I'm running, doesn't work very well. One thing that was kind of an interesting thing to see with Android 2.3 was that it came pre-rooted. That's also the case with the Android 4.0 build. So you can run apps that require root access, and for instance, ES File Explorer, I went ahead and accessed the root options to allow us to go beyond the SD card and browse the root file system. That's a little bit dangerous in some situations. It means that you can go ahead and go into your boot area, your system area, and so forth, and just delete applications, delete files. You can cause some serious damage with root access, so it's something that is probably not a good idea for everybody to start mucking around with root access. But if you were buying this hoping that you could do more than just run the software that comes out of the box, you can run software that requires root access. It doesn't come with any sort of super user permissions app, so you might need to install that yourself. Anyways, I've been playing around with this for the last hour or two. Just wanted to show you what it looks like. This is Android 4.0 running on the Diamond Multimedia AMP1000 Android media player, and for the most part, it's it's an easier to use user interface, which is nice. The browser seems a little sluggish, but it wasn't super fast to start with. Netflix doesn't work right now. XBMC loads but doesn't work. On Android 2.3, I couldn't even get XBMC to load, so it's a work in progress. It's up to you to sort of decide what it is that you might want to do with this sort of device. I think that what really helps set this apart from some others is this remote control, which is kind of awkward to use for serious typing, but it does let you do almost anything that you'd want to do on an Android device, because you've got your wireless mouse, you've got your buttons, and you've got the full QWERTY keyboard, or you can use non-screen keyboard. So, if you like the idea of being able to run Android on your TV and are looking for a fairly user-friendly way to do that, the Diamond Multimedia AMP1000 does let you do that, and the new software lets you run newer applications that require Android 4.0. The new user interface is much, much better looking on a large screen, but you might want to wait for some of the kinks to be worked out, either for Netflix to be updated or for the software to be updated, the operating system to be updated so it supports Netflix more accurately. It didn't take very long, only a week or two since I got this device, for Diamond Multimedia to issue the software update. So hopefully they're still paying attention to the software and will continue to issue updates as necessary. We can't guarantee that, but it does look like they at least followed through on their promise to update from Android 2.3 to Android 4.0. This is Brad Linder with Lilliputiting, and a look at the Android 4.0 update for the AMP1000.